Found. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the Wednesday, June 19th, 2024 Shutesbury Cemetery Commissioners meeting, starting a little late at, I have 6:13.
My bad.
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. We made it. We all made it. That's what counts.
Yep.
Okay, first on the agenda is review and approve minutes of the May 15th, 2024 meeting. And just before the meeting started, I was just talking with Susan, and I had found two small errors. One under number 2, new burials and lot sales, under section B1. It should say on April 19th, not in April 19th. And bottom line, under D, the commission discussed its resources. Last line, remembering that as of July 1st, we will have, that should be 1,600 from the town for FY25 expenses, not 16,000. As we said, it'd be great if it was 16,000. That would solve a lot of our problems, but unfortunately, it's only 1,600. And that's all that I had found.
And I wouldn't have caught those things. Thank you, Walter.
Oh, you're welcome. I think that was it. Unless anybody else saw anything. Okay, in that case, we'll accept a motion to accept the minutes of the May 15th Cemetery Commissioners meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, well, I'll make the motion.
You make the motion, I'll second it.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Actually, you probably should have done that first and then made the changes, but nonetheless. All right, hearing none, then we'll do a roll call vote. Dina?
Aye.
Susan?
Aye.
And I vote aye also. So minutes are accepted as corrected.
Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda, any new burials and lot sales? There have been no lot sales and no burials since the last meeting, although there is going to be one on this Sunday, the 23rd at 10:30, I think, a cremational burial. For a woman who had lived in town here up until a few months ago and then passed away. So
Remember, said for the records, we would tell names of people.
names. Yep.
Yeah, and I was gonna,
And hold on just one second.
that one made
Margaret Gurman is her name.
B-R-M-A-N?
Gurman.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, she used to live. Yeah,
She lived down on
with Ayers
Lost Pond.
Hall. Yeah, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so they'd sold the house sometime last fall, I think it was, or something like that, and moved away. And yeah, she had somewhat recently passed away.
Is she in a family lot or is she in an own lot?
She is going to be in a family lot, but it's her family.
Yeah.
The lot is under Lind and Bailey, L-I-N-D, and Bailey was her sister, I believe, Bailey. Yeah, it's a family lot, so it's her parents and her sister.
I believe she told me that they lived in what is now what has been for a long time, the church, the parsonage at one point. I thought
Really?
I thought maybe her dad might have been an earlier minister, or maybe it's been a long time.
Right.
I don't remember precisely, and I could be totally wrong.
That I did not know, but that's okay. Yeah, there is another family lot, Gurman family lot, but she chose to be buried with her family.
Okay.
As it's an ex-husband, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And that's it that I have for lot sales or burials.
Okay.
Good.
May I
Next,
just say something on
Yep.
the subject of lots and plots? I am so frustrated about it. I looked it up online and I finally got it, because most of them said it's the same thing. But I
okay,
finally got a definition that said the plot is where you're buried.
okay, that's the single,
Oh,
and
And
then
the
a
lot
group
is
of
the
plots
group
is a lot.
plots.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
So I
Thank you
hope I
for that
remember that.
clarification.
Yeah, we should put that in, well, put that in the minutes anyways, and we should have that somewhere where, so when we're talking about terminology.
Yep, you're right.
Cause I'm like, I misconstrue them and use them in, intermittently or, together, and it's like, I'm not sure which one is which. So,
Well, most of the sources, most of the references on Google had
said that it
had
was
them
the same thing.
identical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense. The plot is actually where you're buried, but it's a lot of 8 plots.
Yep.
Okay. Or less than more.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Thank you for doing that, Susan. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. That's the English teacher in you, right?
Yeah. Well, history, but that's all right.
History. Okay. The teacher in you. All right. So then, if nothing more there, third on the agenda is groundkeepers update. Carl did get all his, I was looking in the minutes last time, he had not got his paperwork in. He does have all his paperwork in now.
Oh, good.
And he's given me hours for the first set of times that he's worked, and I got to get another set here by the end of the month, but and then I'll get him processed and paid for this year. This should, wow, that was a big one. This year,
Oh,
not
wow.
having a schedule of when they actually do the warrants makes it a little more of a guesswork sometimes. It's a little bit harder to, keep track. So I got to make sure I get those this year. Make it a lot easier. But he has been doing very well. He's, it, he's still learning the best way to do things, of what mower works best with which section and all, but and he was a little hesitant to take the bigger mower out, but the other day there was a slight snafu with the small mower and the blades weren't engaging. There was something hung up underneath, and he had to take the big mower out, and he was really impressed with it because that one's 4-wheel drive, so it handles the hills much better.
Right.
So he was able to do the hillsides where he was having trouble with the smaller one. And it does have a wider cut and it's faster over the ground. So it did make, for the open areas, it made the work a lot easier. So now he's realizing, okay, these sections I use with the big mower, these sections I use the small mower, these sections I use the hand mower, and then the weed whack, and he's done really well. He's looking at, once he's starting to get caught up, of starting to delve into doing some of the brush cutting and all that. The other day when I was there working on the mower, I had realized that the little road that goes next to the hearse house and up to the back, which usually used just by the groundskeeper parking and all that, was getting so overgrown you couldn't drive down it. It was,
Oh,
all the branches were out over the road. So I spent a few hours there with the loppers and the pole saw and kind of cleared that up and took about two pickup truck loads of brush up into the back just
Wow.
from that one section.
wow.
So there's a lot of getting to be a lot
There's
of
stuff to
overgrowth.
do.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
lot to do, yeah. Because I'd like to see that whole section there where that stone wall is behind the hearse house cleaned right up, because then you could see more of the older section and see the nice stone wall that's there, and it'll make it easier to keep up with things. So that's on the schedule of things to do. So I'm sure Carl and I can get to that sometime this summer. So, but he's doing rather well, and people have made some comments that it looks pretty good. We haven't got any complaints, so that's a good thing,
Yay.
especially going through Memorial Day. I know that, that's when it's growing the fastest, gotta look the best, and everybody's there. So he did a good job on that, and he's kind of just, doing his own thing now, figuring out how often he has to go, and it's working out very well. I think we found a good person. We gotta make sure we keep him for a while.
Yes.
Any questions on him or
No,
Right.
that's great.
All right. So next on the agenda is update on the ground penetrating radar and mapping project. I don't know if either of you had looked at the Cemetery Commission email, but Bob Perry sent a service agreement to us.
Oh,
And it basically just spells out in writing the projects that he's gonna do, the price of them, and what's in each one. Have either of you read this yet or not?
I haven't.
I
Okay,
don't think I did.
okay, so I'll just read through the bottom part of it. So basically the top part is just all our information. Then what he's going to do, project 1, project 2, project 3, and the cost, which equals what his proposal was gonna be. Then underneath it says, as a retainer, a $5,000 retainer. With the balance payment is due upon completion of the project and will include any additional charges for services not indicated above. Please note that the number of billing days on site is an estimation. Any additional time on site requires customer approval. What you will receive upon completion of your project, you will receive a digitized drawing on a flash drive and one hard copy of the original. You will also receive a PDF file of your map that will allow you to print additional copies from a local vendor. Unless otherwise required, map print size will be 24 by 36 printed in grayscale. This order does not include any third-party business, cemetery management, or vector graphic mapping software. Then it basically is just your legal stuff about the agreement and the disclaimers. I can read all that if you'd like, but
That's okay.
probably standard stuff. And then it's a place for our client signature and date. So I wanted to bring this to everyone and actually take a vote and get an agreement to sign it before I do so and send it off to them.
That makes sense to me. The numbers were as we had agreed with him when we talked to him last.
Yes, I believe. Let me just double check that with.
I mean, I remember discussing it and all of us agreeing that that was reasonable for the work he was doing and that there isn't
Right.
another provider who does this stuff.
23, 25, 41, 75, and 72.50. Yep, exactly.
As
So I guess
long as the numbers match up, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, if he has to put in extra time, he has to put in extra time. Hopefully he
Right.
does, but you don't know.
Right, yeah, because it's hard to say. You may run into some problems or whatever. So, yeah, it's definitely worth doing though. Even, I mean, like I said, just the ground penetrating radar portion of it is going to allow us potentially up to, over $40,000.
Yeah, exactly.
in plot sales. So that's money well spent. And the other stuff is just good to have because we don't have a map of the northern part section, the oldest section, and seeing that he's gonna map where every headstone and everything is on the other one, that will help out too.
Yeah.
Because our map is theoretical and not actual that we have. Okay. And I've got to work with him on the retainer because the town will not pay anything without an actual invoice or purchase order or something like that. So I'll have to get him to send us something as the retainer for this.
Right, so we can process the payment.
Yep. All right, and that's because it's coming out of where it's going to be coming out of. That's not we'll have to get it in before the end of the fiscal year. Be nice if we get it and get it paid, then you can get started, but it's not fiscal year dependent on what we get or when we do it. So, all right, so I will. Oh, we got to take a vote on that. So, any other questions on that?
No, I
Okay.
move that we vote to accept moving forward with this contract as it appears.
Okay,
Second.
second, okay, further discussion?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Susan,
Yeah, aye.
Dina,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye also. That's unanimous. I will, actually, I'm gonna sign that right now.
Peter, would you like to repeat your language so I can get your actual language down instead of making some?
I move that we vote to approve this contract as specified.
Can I call it the service agreement?
Yes,
Or-
service agreement, please.
That's a better idea.
Okay.
Today's the
So this is on our website, so I can go and look at it later if I need to check anything.
yeah, it's right in the email as an attachment.
Okay.
And what I'll do is I'll scan this and keep a record of it, the signed copy for us in digitally, and we can put in a paper copy. All right, that'll be good to get that going.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I threw in the gravestone restoration project update in case Tamara had gotten back here and done any more work, but I don't know if she has or not. I haven't taken the list that she said of what was done and matched it to what was there to see if there's anything else done or not. But definitely you walk through and you notice that there's some stones that have been repaired and cleaned and all that weren't so before. And I think she had done, was it 13?
In the minutes somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 is what this
Okay.
says.
All right, so she had done 13. We paid her for those. I know at the time she was heading out to Chicago and gonna be out there for a while. So, and she was fitting it in between other bigger jobs. So I'm sure she'll eventually follow up and get the other ones done. So.
Yep.
All right, anything more on that project? Oh, by the way, it was mentioned at the all boards meeting that this year there were no applications for CPA projects. So,
Wow.
yeah, so, I definitely think, unless a lot of people jump on it next year, we should definitely go and put in for the second half of this project next year.
I agree.
Which that should, I think those usually come out in the fall, the applications, I think,
Oh, yeah.
something like that. So we'll have to keep our eye out to see when that
Yeah.
comes up.
That's a really good idea, and we'll
'Cause
be
I
able
was
to
really,
program how
Go ahead.
valuable the program is, so.
Go ahead, Jenny. Sorry, I talked over you.
No, would be able to, we'll have evidence for the value of doing this,
Right. Oh, yeah.
which would be great.
And we'll also just have a recent application that we did. If they haven't changed it, we'll know what we're doing.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah, because it was a totally different process this last time. Well, not totally different, but there was some added things that took a little while that
Yeah.
hadn't been in there before, like some of the almost like a contract with the town and all that.
Right.
So, yeah, and I was really surprised that nobody put any projects in for this year. So, all right. Let's see. Next is supplies and equipment needed. I pretty much got a lot of what we were talking about last time. I picked up 2 brand new gas cans to make it safer for Carl to transport fuel from the highway department down. There was the ones that were there were getting, they're missing caps and they didn't seal properly for transportation. I got another set of blades for the big mower. Having difficulty getting blades for the small mower. Can't get them from the manufacturer anymore. The numbers didn't match over to a lot of the aftermarket dealers, so I have to actually take some blades down there and
Oh.
measure them to see if we can get more. And I think if that's the case, we might have to pick up a few sets of blades and have them
Yeah.
Till I can see if there's another manufacturer that we can get them from, because it would be really disappointing to have a mower that works perfectly good and just not be able to get blades for it. But, that's the thing about our society, you know, keep making new stuff, phase out the old stuff, and make you spend money on something that's you don't really have to.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, and I picked up some oil filters and, you know, different things like that, small maintenance items. There's still some money left. If we don't end up using it, and we could probably use it for the retainer for the service agreement to fill that, you know, use that account up. If not, there's a few other little things at the last minute I could do or purchase. One of them is just some materials to make stakes to, when we had the cemetery surveyed the first time, they put some pins in at, I think 50, 100, 150 at each road, but they put them in the center of the road. What I'd really like to do is at those points, put 2 pins in on each side. Because if you measure, you know,
Right.
along where the lots are, not in the middle of the road, and extend back. And that would also then help mark the edge of the roads, especially when we go to kind of clean up the roads and put some of the hard pack that's sitting up in the back down to really designate where the roads are. So I'm thinking of just buying some 1/2 inch iron pipe, and I think I've got enough washers and stuff here to just weld them to those, so we can drive those right in the ground, have a place to put it'll be flush to the ground then, so the mowers don't hit it, but then be able to drop a pin in there and be able to measure from them. So,
That makes sense.
and I don't think there's enough money left to do all of what we need, but you know, I can pick up some and start the project making it, and then next year pick up some more and get it finished up. So, but that's about it for supplies and equipment. But any questions on any of that, or
No, thank you for the update.
okay? And anything then there's other unfinished business. Does anybody have anything, either unfinished business or new business? Items not anticipated 48 hours prior to the meeting. We can lump all 3 of those kind of together.
Okay, I do have a question.
Sure.
I was looking at our website at the most recent conversation that you were having with somebody about a footstone.
Oh, military footstone, yes.
Is that what it was? A military footstone? I wasn't
Well,
sure.
oh, let me see. When you said website, you mean the
Yeah, I don't mean the website.
email.
Sorry. Yeah.
Let me see.
Did it have to do with Margaret Gurman?
No, that was no footstone there. Oh, that might have been with Negus Taylor. That would have been there was a military footstone that was going in for Phil Kinder.
Oh,
That was probably it.
there weren't many details there, so I didn't really know what it was all about.
Yeah, because we had more talked on the phone. I didn't seem like it was that far back, but
Yeah, it just seemed like it was just above the minutes that I sent around, so it wasn't long ago.
must have missed it. Let's see.
Well, it's not a big deal. I was just curious about what was involved.
Yeah. I would say that was it. Oh yeah. Oh, it's just Lindsay Gonzalez, Man Memorials. Okay, there's another one that just today. How do I just left you a voicemail about Ayers Hall foot marker for Margaret Gurman. They're going to have a service this Sunday and we would like to install the marker. Okay. We're looking to see if it was marked and get directions maps to your location. If you call the office, place more time. Okay. Well, thank you for letting me saying something about that, because I did not see that one. That was 3:29 today. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because I had been in contact with them about not only, some headstone for my parents, but yeah, the other one was, yeah, it didn't say anything other than thank you for picking up the phone while at work. That was the marking out the location for the military plaque for Phil Kinder, which I did. And at the same time, what I did because, oh, that's man. Oh, man. Okay, that's why that's man memorials. I've been talking with Negus and Taylor about something else. That's man memorials. Okay. All
Where
right.
are the man memorials?
What was that?
Where are they located?
Man memorials. They're out of Athol. They used to be Athol Granite Works.
Oh.
Athol Granite Works and Dorsey Memorial were basically the same company. Dorsey Memorial in Amherst and Athol Granite Works in Athol were owned by the same person or company, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And at one point it was either sold or they went out of business. I think they kind of closed up for whatever reason. I never did find out, but then somebody else bought Athol Granite Works, and they were really not that good of a people or person because they ended up taking money for a lot of orders for people's headstones and then beat feet with the money and left everybody hanging.
Ooh.
So then it's actually a company, Man Lumber, bought Athol Memorial or Athol Granite Works, and now it's changed the name to Man Memorials, MANN. But if you look up Athol Granite Works, it still comes up. You can still get numbers for it. So, I wonder if they left the voicemail. Anyways, so that's who they're out of Athol.
Okay,
Used to be Athol Granite Works and Dorsey Memorial,
okay. Thank you.
which means I'll probably have to do that on Saturday then, if they want to put that in. All right. They didn't even the family never mentioned that they had a footstone that they wanted to have put in. So,
Oh, my.
oh well, that's the joys of doing this. You never know. Well, I thank you for asking about that. Otherwise, I might not have seen that. So,
Yeah, you're very welcome.
all right. Oh yeah. So as I was starting to say, when I realized that was somebody else, I did send to Negus and Taylor when I was talking to them. I asked them if they had a map of our cemeteries, and they said no, we didn't, or no, they didn't. So I took one of the digital copies and emailed it to them. So now they have the. I think I sent them all three sections: the main section, the newer southwest section, which has the green burial area, and then the Luther Henry tomb site that we had the maps for. That way, when they're looking for a headstone, you can just reference the lot number. There we go. And it's easier for them to find. So
Yeah, sure.
so
Good.
that will help out.
Yeah.
Probably should do the same thing for man headstones or man memorial. Excuse me. All right. Anything else?
What's the name of the company? What is it in Taylor?
Negus,
Negus and Taylor.
Negus.
Negus
Okay,
and Taylor. They're
okay,
out of Greenfield.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry, I just spelt these off and not even thinking that you gotta take names and you may be unfamiliar with them, but okay. Any other items not anticipated or new business or anything that anybody has?
I got nothing.
Okay. Date for next meeting. The third Wednesday would be, let's see, we get to July.
The 17th.
17th, yeah. Does that seem to be okay for everyone?
Yep.
That works for me.
Okay. Let me just double check my calendar, make sure. Yep, okay. All right, so the next meeting will be July 17th, 2024 at 6 p.m.
I'll try to be a minute early.
Hey, and I'll try to get it posted in time. I did good this time. I did it a whole week
I
ahead.
was very impressed.
Yeah, yeah.
I was sitting here one night, go, "Oh, I got to do this right now, or I'm gonna forget again." So,
Go. Okay,
all right,
Okay.
and I guess if nothing more, we'll motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
seconded.
All right. Any further discussion? I don't think so. All in favor? We should do the roll call. It'll be easier. Susan,
Aye.
Nina,
Aye.
and I'll vote aye also. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And meeting concluded, I have at 6:43.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everything you do, Walter. Wow.
Yeah,
You're
it was a
welcome.
lot this month.
I'm just gonna stop the recording here. Where is it? I cannot find it. Let's see more. There we go. Stop recording.